They said cats couldn't care less about anyone but themselves. But Smokey? She broke every rule. The case of the injured kitten wasn't just a mystery, it was personal. What she uncovered shattered trust, exposed betrayal, and changed Willowbrook forever. And it all started with a single cry for help. The moon cast an eerie glow over Willowbrook's silent streets, and most of its residents had long drifted into dreams. But Smokey, the town's gray-furred enigma, wasn't sleeping. She was out there, in the shadows, always watching. Smokey had seen things no one else dared to notice. She wasn't just a stray. She was the one animals turned to when no one else could help. A whispered legend. A silent protector. But this night was different. Smokey had no idea that the case waiting for her would test everything she believed about loyalty, love, and courage. What she uncovered wasn't just a crime, it was a reckoning. It began with a noise, a heart-wrenching, pitiful meow that sliced through the stillness like a blade. Smokey's ears perked, and she bolted toward the sound. Inside a crumbling, graffiti-covered warehouse, she found him. A tiny kitten, no older than a few weeks, barely clinging to life. His fur was matted with dirt, his paw twisted at an unnatural angle. Smokey nudged him gently, and he let out a weak whimper. Her keen eyes scanned the scene. There were signs of a struggle, deep claw marks etched into the wooden crates, an overturned can of tuna, and paw prints leading away. But something felt off. Smokey could almost feel the malice lingering in the air. This wasn't an accident. Someone had done this on purpose. Smokey carried the kitten to the only safe place she knew, a hidden den where a kind-hearted mother cat, Daisy, cared for abandoned younglings. As the kitten was tended to, Smokey made a silent promise. She'd find who did this. The search began in Willowbrook's darker corners. Smokey first visited Patches, a wiry alley cat known for knowing everything. Patches leaned in close, his voice a hushed whisper. "You're poking your nose where it doesn't belong, Smokey," he warned. "The shadows don't play games. They've been making moves, claiming territory. Rumor is they're sending a message." The shadows. Smokey had heard the name whispered before, but she thought it was just a myth. A secretive gang of cats who ruled the streets with fear and violence. Following Patches' tips, Smokey tracked Razor, the gang's brutal leader, to their lair, a crumbling theater. From the safety of the rafters, Smokey watched as Razor paced below, his deep growl echoing in the dusty air. "This is just the beginning," Razor snarled to his lieutenants. "No one disrespects the shadows. That kitten, just a warning." Smokey's fur bristled. They had done this to send a message. But then, in the dim light of the theater, Smokey saw something that made her heart stop. Sitting beside Razor, purring softly, was Ginger. Sweet, lovable Ginger, the cat everyone in town adored. Smokey wanted to believe it was a mistake, but the evidence was undeniable. Smokey confronted Ginger the next night under the glow of a flickering street lamp. "How could you?" Smokey demanded, her voice shaking. "You tricked everyone. We trusted you." Ginger didn't flinch. She smirked, her eyes cold and calculating. "Oh, Smokey, you're so naive. Do you think survival is about being nice? I made a choice. The shadows protect their own. That kitten was just collateral damage." Smokey's claws unsheathed as rage and heartbreak surged through her. But she knew this wasn't a fight she could win alone. She needed allies. Rallying a group of strays who had suffered under the shadow's reign, Smokey devised a plan. It wasn't just about exposing Ginger and Razor. It was about dismantling the shadows entirely. Under cover of darkness, Smokey and her team infiltrated the theater. What followed was chaos. Smokey leapt onto Razor's back, clawing and hissing, while her allies cornered Ginger. The theater erupted in a storm of screeches and flying fur. In the end, Razor and Ginger were defeated, not by violence, but by their own fear and betrayal. Smokey revealed the truth to the animal community, who turned their backs on the shadows. The gang was no more. Justice was restored, but Smokey's heart felt heavier than ever. She watched as the injured kitten, now recovering, took his first wobbly steps. His bright eyes were filled with hope, but Smokey knew the scars of betrayal would take longer to heal. As dawn painted the sky in hues of pink and gold, Smokey sat on her favorite rooftop, overlooking the now peaceful streets of Willowbrook. She had solved the case, but it came at a cost. For Smokey, being a detective wasn't just about solving mysteries. It was about protecting the vulnerable, no matter the risk. She knew there would be more battles ahead, but for now, she allowed herself a moment to breathe. Did Smokey's bravery move you? Stories like these remind us of the strength it takes to stand up for what's right. Subscribe now for more tales of courage, heart, and justice. Let's celebrate the heroes among us, no matter how small they may seem.